Hi everyone, today we're going to discuss the benefits of working out. How often should we train? Should we train every single day? Should we take a rest day? How do we know we're doing enough? And how do we know that we're doing too much? Okay, so obviously overtraining can lead to burnout, exhaustion, a bit of fatigue and stuff. So that's something that we don't want to be doing, and that we want to be training at the right amount of times. But do we need to come once a week, twice a week, 6 days a week? Okay, so I'm just going to break down the science behind it all. All right, so there's something known as supercompensation. So that's where the body reacts to a stimulus that we put it through. So very, very well researched, all science backed and that, but basically any time that we train and that, so we have a base level of fitness. So I'll show you here, and that will have our base level of fitness. You can see there's a nice curve there. As soon as we do our first workout, our base level goes, dips into an alarm phase. So we're actually then weaker than when we first started. All right, this then turns into a recovery phase. So we're looking between 24 to 36 hours after training. This is where you'll see from the line, it starts raising up. We're going now, our fitness is going to pass our baseline of fitness, which is the line that goes across the screen. Okay, and then we're going to go into something which is known as supercompensation. So very, very important. Okay, this is kind of when we're even stronger than we were before. Okay, now what we want to do in an ideal world, and that is train at our peak. Okay, so when we're in supercompensation, right at the top, we want to then train again. We are going to go into an alarm phase once more, but the idea is then we're going to then recover, increase back into supercompensation, which will then in turn lead to a higher baseline of level of fitness. So beforehand, we probably started here at our baseline. We're going to ride the curve, get that rest day in, plan our workouts appropriately or accordingly, okay? Let ourselves recover, supercompensation, train again at the top. This is going to set our new baseline of fitness. Gradually, using progressive overload, smart training techniques, really planning out what we're going to be doing, we can then step up all the time within our fitness gains, okay? So the only downside to this and stuff is if we train too often, okay? So if we train too often, we'll see from another graph that I'm going to put onto screen. We say we don't get that recovery time within our 24 to 36 hours after training. We're then going to be targeting at a lower recovery phase, which will be then below our baseline level of fitness. If we can keep targeting this, the opposite effect happens. So you'll see from the graph that it keeps stepping down, stepping down, stepping down, which in turn then leads to fatigue, irritability, issues sleeping, anger, sickness, all the terrible things that you don't want from training, and you end up being a little bit weaker through it. Your baseline, every time you're targeting it, will then be lower. So obviously very, very important, get that rest, get those rest days in, or plan ahead, okay? Plan the type of workouts you do. We can deal with this with different training splits, so we can do upper, lower, push-pull legs, different sort of techniques like that. There's different ways to recover as well. So obviously we'll go through all that in time. All right, the very next thing is the middle round. So it's not training enough, okay? So we've only discussed the first part, the alarm phase, recovery, supercompensation. As you can see from the graph, supercompensation does return back to base level, okay? So this is usually between 1 to 3 days is your kind of optimum sort of targeting sort of area where you want to be hitting that supercompensation curve. Anything after this time then dips back, reverts to your base level of fitness. So for instance, if you have a couple of weeks off, doing nothing at all, you come back in, you think, oh my God, my strength isn't where it was. This is why, okay? So ideal world, if you're very good at maths, you don't have to be, but if our training period is normally optimal training period is within our first 3 days with our supercompensation, we're going to target at the top, twice a week. So any strength training, we're looking at really twice a week, hitting those muscle groups twice a week, getting the best adaptions, getting our rest and recovery in. If you keep doing this, you'll see your progress raise over time, all right? But join me for more. Obviously, we're here to guide you, give you a bit of education, hopefully have fun with the workouts as well. Speak to you soon. Thanks.